So then I want to to make music with the computers. So computers you could use Ableton and DAWs and you can make music. But then it's not interesting to me. Like you have computers, you can drag it here and there, but I didn't like it. So then I want to make my own instrument. So then I get into modular synthesizers, Euro rack kind of thing. Those are very expensive. So even you can afford it in Sri Lanka, so you need to pick it down from other places. I started, okay, why not trying to make something my own. Electronic engineering, little bit of things, but I'm not an electronics engineer. So with the internet and AI stuff, so I learned a little bit. So now we have a product, like a whole setup. So you can play a live gig with it. And also we open source everything. So I want to break those barriers. So basically one thing is I want to make it affordable, like make modular more affordable and let everyone to use it. So I have like a expensive hobby anymore. I mean, there's no barrier kind of thing. If you want to do something, and it's right now is the correct time. I mean, like it doesn't matter like you are old, you are young, and you are not rich. If you want to do something, just start doing it, and then you'll.
I just got done recording 2 days of my podcast, the Creative Odyssey podcast, here at Hatch.lk, one of the leading startup hubs in Sri Lanka. Because my goal was to be able to tell stories of unique creatives here who are crazy enough to think that they can actually solve problems. To be here at Hatch and be inspired in what I'm doing, and to be able to tell these stories and have this studio and opportunity, I'm super grateful to Hatch. I feel affirmed in my mission to highlight creatives, and when I saw individuals from startups like inviting their own friends to be on here so I can highlight their stories and their unique way of thinking, every single one of them has so much insight to provide to anybody who's watching, anybody who's thinking that they're not good enough to do what they're doing. Seeing stories from doctors who have changed careers into running startups, to journalists, to doing these kinds of things, like it gives me so much hope to be able to share this to others, to say that like wherever you are at, if you're not passionate about what you're doing and you're stuck in your own bubble or whatever, find communities like Hatch, because it is going to be the best thing that you'll do for yourself, because the community is absolutely amazing. Hatch, thank you so much for the support you provided. I can't wait to show you the amazing stories and the insights your own people are going to share with the world.
Hi, welcome to Creative Artists Podcast. My name is Sharon, and today we're recording at Hatchworks in Sri Lanka, one of the startup hubs, where they're helping startups connect creativity and technology to help solve problems, real problems. And today, I have one of those cool people here, Arunodha, who has an interesting story and how he had kind of taken it to a whole nother direction. So, Arunodha, thank you for being here. I appreciate
Thank you for inviting. Yeah.
So, let me see here. You are creating a product right now, but the story behind it is very interesting. And it's interesting how you wanted to be creative, and that's how all this whole thing started. So, tell us kind of a brief understanding of what happened.
All right. So my main focus is I was in the IT industry for a while, so maybe 10 years. So then, so even from the beginning, so in my early life, like I want to play a musical instrument. So I learned different ways, right? So I can play a piano a little bit, the keyboard, and so I can little bit finger drum. So, but I'm really not like I'm not a master or a pro. So I want to improve that. So when that's not a way that so I can't play anything. So I'm not pro at it. So then I want to to make music with the computers. So this is a long. It's not like a 1 year thing that I was doing for a long time
Right.
with the work. So when so computers you can use Ableton and DAWs and you can make music. But then I didn't find any in the interest. It's not interesting to me. Like you have computers, you can drag it here and there, but I didn't like it. So then I want to make my own instrument. So then I get into modular synthesizers, Euro rack kind of thing. So then, so those are very expensive. So even you can afford it in Sri Lanka, so you need to pick it down from other places. Then you can't hear it. You can see how it works. So then I started, okay, why not trying to make something my own. So I had little engineer electronic engineering, little bit of things, but I'm not an electronics engineer. So with the internet and AI stuff, so I learned a little bit. So I start up one module, and from time to time I improved everything. So now we have a product, like a whole setup. So you can play a live gig with it, and yeah, that's the story. And also we open source everything. So also we sell the product, but everything is open source, even the components. So you, even if you want to like build it from scratch, you can see all the manuals and everything. You can set up. Yeah. So that's my story. Yeah.
Very cool. So real quick, I want to understand who young Arunoda was like, and tell me like what was your background like growing up, and
Right. So this is like, like preschool. I mean, like a school, or I don't know, like
whenever you want to start.
well, from the very beginning, I'm a quite nerdy guy. You can say like tech. I don't know whether it's nerd or a geek. So I don't know how to differentiate that, right? So I'm more into that kind of thing. So I'm real good at tech stuff. So even with the remote controls and everything from the very early days. So I remember like quite young, very also we had like a boombox, like it's like a electronics version one. So then I have to the remote controller, so I can like measure everything. I can like like click everything, so I can figure things out. So I thought like so from the very beginning, I'm quite techie, nerdy guy. So eventually, with this the school years, I learned like a coding stuff. Then I eventually moved into IT. So I was doing startups, and so I joined some companies like. So for funny stories, I never worked in Sri Lankan company.
Oh wow.
Ria, even though I stayed here for maybe 10. I was here for a long time. I mean, yeah, every time. Yeah, yes, I work with the IT industry, and then now I don't work with the IT industry anymore. So yeah, that's I want to do something else. Yeah, that's what
We're so excited to share with you all the episodes that we filmed in Sri Lanka. We know a lot of you have been waiting, but we wanted to make sure that we did this really meaningfully because it really was an exciting time. When Sharon first came to me and said he was going to take the podcast to Sri Lanka, I honestly thought he was crazy.
And so did I. I was like, is there any possibility we can fit this in? I want to try to bring the podcast there and get to know people and interview creatives.
So we expected to have just a few conversations, maybe a little sparks of inspiration here and there, but what happened was so much deeper than that. We met so many people that not only you got to interview, but that also like came alongside us to help make these conversations happen.
The crazy thing was this daring idea of going to a country, even though I'm from Sri Lanka. I hadn't been back for like 7 years. And all I knew was some people from school that I went to and some on social media that I've been following, but didn't really have a concrete plan to make it happen. And some days we had 6-7 episodes back to back recorded because people were waiting and you were kind of facilitating that.
Yeah, so it felt really significant because not only was it that we were having like these raw and authentic conversations, but a lot of their stories resonated with Sharon's, and so it just was really fascinating to see them speaking the same language and to see like just this commonality of creativity and identity and purpose coming out as the themes of these conversations.
You must be wondering when this trip happened. It happened in September, and the goal was to get these episodes out by December or last year. Well, a lot of things happened, and I didn't want to diminish the work we put in, and again, the amazing guests that we've had. So we decided to do something really cool, and we're gonna post however many we can a week.
So linked in every single episode, you'll find a free PDF. It's actually a magazine that we developed. You can kind of think of it like if you go to a concert and you get like the souvenir of what happened behind the scenes and just about the different artists and all those things. We wanted to share with you not only about Sharon's journey, but then help you connect with some of the guests that we interview in Sri Lanka, and then invite you on your own creative odyssey.
Yes, there's so much more that goes into or that fuels this podcast, which is this mission to inspire people to create so that they can get to know themselves and connect with their inner child. So to see that we could bring that story out of Sri Lankan creatives, a wide, diverse range of creatives, was definitely a highlight.
Our hope is that whether you're living in the States, you're living in Sri Lanka, or somewhere else around the world, you'll connect with someone's story within Sri Lanka, and it might inspire you to continue on your own creative odyssey.
The link to the PDF of the magazine is in the description, and please check it out. They're doing really cool things that I really think you should be checking out to see their journeys. So Without further ado, let's get to the episode.
So, at any point, did you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm way over my head, like I shouldn't be doing any of these things and get a normal job?
I mean, like the normal job, I don't know. Like, I mean, like it's quite normal to me, like the IT thing. Uh, I think it's fun. I don't say it's like when you get into that, you can do creative stuff with it. Like so people say IT is like like the coding and stuff. It's not like that. Like even though with the web designing, art like 3D graphics kind of things, you has huge setup like you can master like so because I try everything. I start with the web, then I go to the back end stuff. So recently I work with the Unreal Engine, the gaming side. So I touch everything. So I mean, even it's creative. Like even with that, you can be creative. Like there's nothing stopping you that like that. So, but I want to like get into the music scene or something. That's why I ended up doing it right now.
I'm curious, why?
I mean, I don't know. Like you don't have answers for everything in the world, right? Like so,
I guess.
yeah.
Okay, so talk me through how the process of you getting into this startup and like how did the whole thing, especially
Right.
were you connected with Hatch or somewhere else or
Right. So Hatch, I don't have like the partnership anything like that, but I work with them, so they help me to like have my stuff here. So they do workshop at Hatch. So it's like an informal partnership kind of thing. So actually, I really want to thank Hatch for giving me the opportunity to in their spaces, and that's really nice. That's my story with Hatch. So I didn't want to start a company with this. So still, it's not a real company kind of thing. It's an entity. I said like so we make so eventually I want to make instrument for me. So but now we have a complete setup. So we sell them. So we have some customers. So that's how it is going. And also I want to work with Sri Lankan artists and people, even students. So that's yeah. That's I really like teaching and sharing my things, experience. Yeah.
what were some of the challenges you faced as you're on this journey?
In here, like I think with the technical and knowledge side, I don't think there's a barrier in that with the AI stuff. I said with the AI and ChatGPT kind of thing. So even if you're anywhere, so you can learn anything. That's the like you don't have to ask ChatGPT to build a synthesizer. You don't know how to do that. So I'm like you can't. So basically, but once you have something, you can dig into that, find problems, and so basically you have an expert like expert team with you. I don't think technical side is no issue, but the logistics that's hard.
Talk
Uh,
me through that.
huh?
Talk me through the
Why?
barriers in
Logistic. To my situation, like so, if I'm in Sri Lanka, being in Sri Lanka, it's really hard to make electronics here. So you can do all the prototype and designing, that's fine. But if you want to manufacture something for a really good standards, so you need to use Chinese companies or somewhere else. So you need to outsource that. So getting them from there to here, it takes time. That's okay, but then you need to pay taxes, and so basically, in a product, 90% of the things are imported. So basically, even though we say affordable, but we are paying 50% for everything that we import, all the components. So if you manufacture this in somewhere else, it's like at least 50% cheaper. So that's the thing that we work with. So I mean that's the sort of logistic problems that we have. We might so now we're in the design stage. I'm not saying like we are in a production run. So we figure things out like that's it. Yeah, that's it.
How long have you been on this
Right. For this one, we launched it this March, but I was working with it from last October.
last October?
Yeah.
So it's been pretty
Quick. Yeah, that's my thing. So we want to do something. I want to do it quickly. Like otherwise, I won't do it. Like that's that.
Why is that?
I like so if I want to like try and do something, I want to like be focused on 100%, or maybe at least 90% on that product. So that's how I work. I don't know, like so.
So do you do this by yourself?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what's the vision behind this?
Right. So my vision is basically this modular or like it's like a custom, like kind of like a custom instrument for you. So there's no right way to use it. You can configure as you wish. So right now it's a little bit like it's expensive. So it's like a expensive hobby, like collecting, which is or you can because so the real musicians are it's really offensive to say real musicians, like the people who make music doesn't really use this modular thing. It's based. One thing is expensive, other thing is huge, and you can't take things here and there. So I want to break those barriers. So basically, one thing is I want to make it affordable. So if someone making a music, so they can have a modular setup like next to their computer. So like laptop, you can click things and do different things like that. And so even if think about the electronic side, all the like electronic components are not that expensive. All the so we can make it affordable. That's my goal. And also like let everyone use it. And I don't know, try to make so that that's my thing. Like make modular more affordable and let everyone to use it. So I'm making it open source and like it's sharing like yeah, that's the thing. It's not like a expensive hobby anymore. That's what I mean.
Right, right. So I'm very curious about how you think and how you look at creativity and approaching things. Are you a person that kind of go deep into that kind of process? Do you know like how you function, like what kind of challenges you face personally when you're into a project like this? Like,
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. These are very like like very tricky question. Yeah. Really, so let me think. Right. The my thing is like so so we want to do something. So we have an end goal. So let's say so I need to have a clear mind like what I want to build. It's not like a let's say if I want to build something. It's not like let's I'm like breaking down into little small pieces. So I need to do something, but I don't know how to go from here to there. So then I spend do research and talk to people, and so eventually I want to find out the path how to go there. So let's say I work for a let's say for example I work for 10 days. There is just a number, 10 days, but I couldn't get it done. So then I completely abandoned the whole project
oh wow.
or the whole thing. So I start from a different like approach,
Okay.
maybe completely abandon that one. So that's my approach. Like so I think like I do something. So I think I learned from G1 from Hatch. He mentioned like when you're doing something, you need to fail fast. So when you're doing something, you need to like if you can't do that, you need to stop that, and then you need to find some other way to do it.
Pivot.
Yep.
Right.
Pivot.
Because the thing is, I ask you this because I talk to many people as I'm like in Sri Lanka, and I get two sides. One side is like, oh, we're in Sri Lanka, we don't have a lot of opportunity, and like, ayo, we don't have this and we don't have that, and all of those things. And then I come here to Hatch, and it's like all I see is people just like putting their heads down and like dreaming and planning and creative solving. So like, what is going on here in your opinion?
I think like it's so wrong to say like there's no opportunity, right? It's so I think so I have startup mindset. Like what is the startup mindset? So it's not startup mindset, it's just like curiosity. Like so basically like so when you want to do something, you need to find a way. Like it doesn't matter like so there's no opportunity. So if you want to do something, so you need to find a like you need to make opportunity. So I think I mean that's like so you think like there's no opportunity. That means you're trying to go away with that. Like so then no one is gonna give you opportunity. Like there's nothing like that. Like so in the world, like you need to find a way. Like so even if you get into a job, like if you don't do that well, you get fired. Right? So like that.
Right, right. And it seems like that, like finding the right community is the main thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, my thing is, like, I didn't know Hatch earlier. No, I'm like, I know Hatch, but I didn't work with the people here. So I think if you build something right, so then if you like talk to people, so then eventually you will meet your community. You don't need to build a community from scratch kind of thing. You build something good, then eventually people will reach you. So
Were you actively looking for a community?
I mean, like, so you need to do something well. I really think we need to have a community. Like, so from the very beginning, even my IT background, so I really work with open source softwares. So basically, I work with people. So even though I'm talking to them personally, like one to one. So I believe like if you want to build something really good, you need to have a team, community, the people. You try it out, give feedback. I think that's essential. So you can't do anything creative or anything without working with a team. It doesn't matter you talk to them in person, but somehow like you need to have. I'm like That's the thing, right?
So finally, I want to ask you, like, my audience is a pretty diverse audience. I have people in the US, I have people in Sri Lanka, and also a very like wide range
Right.
from really young to like a very old too. So, um, if they feel like they are too old or young to try out some kind of an idea or whatever, what is your advice to them?
I mean, like that's
to them.
yeah. I mean, that's no barrier kind of thing. If you gotta do something, and it's right now is the correct time. Like this, I mean, like it doesn't matter. Like you are old, you are young, and you are not rich. I mean, like you are so rich, and there's no such thing, right? If you wanna do something, just start doing it, and then you'll, yeah, that's
I also notice you share a lot on social media and stuff like that. You use it really well to connect with your audience.
yeah. I don't know whether I'm using it properly, but I try to.
But you're trying.
Yeah, I'm trying, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, thank you so much. It's so great, cool that I got a chance to highlight what you're doing. I have to say, when I saw you first and what you're doing, I was like, this guy's pretty cool. And I especially like the idea that you have to connect it with Sri Lankan artists. I think that's like really cool. I think if you guys are watching artists, reach out to this guy. He has some really cool stuff. Um, Anyways, thank you so much for being on the podcast. All I gotta say is keep creating, keep dreaming, keep going on your own creative odyssey. Till next time, see you later. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.